Hello, I'm Kristian, CEO of Tembi. We are a market intelligence platform around e-commerce. If you don't know us, we analyze 1 to 2 million online web shops in Europe and all of the products available. And today with me I have Elisabeth Peregi from Kappahl. And maybe Elisabeth, you could just start introducing yourself and Kappahl briefly.
Yeah, thank you, Kristian. So I'm Elisabeth Peregi, working as CEO at Kappahl Group, and that is a fashion company. And as of today, we consist of two brands, the Kappahl brand and the Newbie brand. And Kappahl as a company was founded in the 50s. So we've been around for some time now. And mainly we are present in Sweden, of course, Norway, Finland, Poland, and the UK, with both Kappahl and Newbie stores. And of course, an e-com shop, definitely.
And then you have a great focus on sustainability as well, as far as I know.
Exactly. So our sustainability agenda is, I would say, very ambitious, but still also very realistic. So we are aiming to, of course, reduce our emissions according to the Paris Agreement. And we are very, very closely working with all our suppliers and partners. And we're trying to act as transparent as we can. The latest focus on traceability is giving us so much insights about our value chain and where we have our emissions and where we have our partners. So it's really valuable to trace back in the value chain.
It's an inspiring story that you have, an inspiring focus that you have there on sustainability. We also hear about talking about how you use and can use data and insights and analytics in the Kappahl and in the strategy and how to execute that. So what are the most important commercial decisions that you make today where external market data really matters to you?
I mean, we make business and sustainability decisions every day. And some of them are very tactical and some are more strategic ones. And when it comes to the strategy itself, I mean, we are really aiming to grow this company, Kappahl Group, with strong brands. And as I said before, it's two brands today, but we are also looking at acquisitions. And with the brands that we have already, we are looking at growing into new markets and with new channels and with new partners. So it's both sort of growth strategy for the current brands, but also to acquire new brands. And data is, I mean, so very, very important for us to take fact-based or data-driven decisions. So what is sort of out there? What does our customers see? What kind of competition do we have in different markets? What are the price levels, etc., etc. So we are very, very sort of interested in, and we rely a lot on external data, of course, combining that with our internal knowledge, for sure.
And how do you do that today then? And which kind of external sources have you so far been relying on?
I mean, we have tried some different things during the way, but currently we're doing it mostly from with our own sort of resources and competences. We have a huge amount of loyal customers that we track and we communicate with through our CRM system. So we are constantly in dialogue with our customers, for sure. But when it comes to looking at competition, it's, I would say, quite easy. We sort of prompt or we search online, and then we travel, of course, also in various countries. So it's quite manual and I mean, it takes some time, but it's of course very important to get the data, to be able to get insights out of the data and then to do the right decisions depending on the strategy and the direction that we are sort of heading.
Yeah. What are the shortcomings of these sources so far? What are you missing out on in that?
Firstly, I would say that it takes a lot of time and resources, but also that you are very much dependent on the person doing the job. So it can also be a bit subjective, I think, and the outcome is then not fully perhaps covering the need that we have. Sometimes I think it is a lack of transparency and a lack of possibility to get the full picture. And then you are ending up having decision based on selective data and not the full sort of the full possible coverage of data. within a specific field.
Yeah. And then we have just recently engaged in a collaboration, Tembi and Kappahl, you and me, Elisabeth. It's been a pleasure to work with you on this. How would you describe your collaboration with us? Can you put a few words on it?
I mean, I must say it has been very, very to the point. Somehow I from the very first, the feeling was that people at Tembi, I mean, you and your colleagues, are very customer focused, very quick on finding the need for you could easily understand the need I had, sort of, and also the company that we are and our challenges. So it was a quick understanding and also a very quick response. Sometimes when you have the need for quick data, it's days, it's not weeks and hours and months. And I think we have been working very, very fast to cover our needs that we had. I think it took like 1 or 2 weeks, and then we were on the go.
Yeah, it's true. It was a really fast collaboration, or really fastly ignited there. What we have done briefly, we looked at different competition, different markets, different product categories, different pricing. So from many different perspectives, what would you say is the most beneficial that for you as a company with the opportunities like these vast amount of data and intelligence can do for a company like Kappahl?
In this case, and this is the first case that we worked on together, I think that the very beneficial sort of outcome was that we were in need of understanding a market based on that we had limited knowledge ourselves. So we wanted to understand what the customers in this market meet when it comes to a certain category or a certain price level. And that can take quite some time to discover. But with your help, we could get this 360 view on that specific topic. And it was pricing and quality. And then to fully understand what is out there on the market. What does the customer in this market have to choose from? So easily said, analysis of competition, but on a very specific sort of topic.
What was the one thing, if there was only one thing, I hope there were more, right? But the thing that you made, you said, wow, we wouldn't have been able to find that out on our own.
I think it was quite many things we couldn't have found out in that short time. We would have spent so much more time and money on finding out. And that was to put the need of information from that specific topic in the context of the whole market. And where do you start when you don't know the market and you don't know the competition, and then you don't know the range of possibilities for the customers in that market? So it was to have a full cover of a certain category on a certain price level. That I think was if you want to nail one thing.
Yeah, and would it be fair to say that would not been able to do properly before, at least in that short time, and that with that courage?
We would not have managed that on our own.
Is it possible to get a kind of put a value on these kind of insights, not necessarily with that case, but just more in general for a company like Kappahl to say the value of this is X, Y?
I think that's quite tricky because the value of that input is very strategic, and it's also a value on since this is about an acquisition, and to know more about that company than the information memorandum gives you. So it's to be, what you call it, ahead of things, and to know more about a certain topic than you have information about coming from the sellers. So for us, it can be a value that is realized later on in the process, and it gives us a possibility to put a right value on that company. So how do you value a company? What kind of valuation do you use? What kind of valuation criteria? And what kind of questions do we need to get answers to before we can continue in the acquisition process.
And you can also say like strategic decisions like that. It's a value that is long-term and big and difficult to grasp. It can be like a lot of things. It can also be very difficult to put into numbers like that.
But I would still say it's a lot of value in this kind of information. And it's also important to understand that this kind of sort of analysis can be valued here and now for some certain value, but in the long run, in the strategic sort of perspective that, as you are mentioning, it can be the success or the failure of that acquisition. So it can also be very, very it can be devastating if you do it in the wrong way.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you so much, Elisabeth. I'm very happy that you were up to sharing some of the results and the feedback and your experiences with the audiences here. So I appreciate it a lot.
Thank you. I'm happy to share.
And to those that viewed it out there, have a good day.